Every single year, everybody makes New Year's resolutions. We always want to go into the new year with a bang, especially with our physical fitness. Well, typically what happens within a month or two, sometimes 3 months, we fall off. Well, today I'm bringing on a guest who is the CEO of one of the most innovative workout gyms, facilities, programs, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to be talking about how esports are colliding with physical fitness today on the Game Time Guru.
What time is it? Game time! Boom!
This is the Game Time Guru podcast, where I interview sports figures from all over the world to help deliver a panoramic view on sports. So whether you're a former athlete, one of the crazies, or simply a casual sports fan, this is the perfect show for you as we peel back the curtains and learn from our guests every single week. I'm your host, Shane Larson, and I'm helping you see sports through a different lens. What is going on, everybody? Welcome out to another episode of the Game Time Guru podcast. I am your host, Shane Larson. We are hitting the ground running with 2021. We've got some amazing interviews coming to you this year, and today is no different. It's going to be amazing. Super excited to bring our guest on to the show. Man, what an honor and a privilege. Now, this is an individual, as you guys can probably see in the title of the show and everything. You're probably already excited for it. It's an individual who I actually worked for at my previous employer back in the day, and I was so blown away by his creativity and his innovation and everything. And now I get to speak to him about his new venture. This is the co-founder and CEO of Blackbox VR. It's Ryan DeLuca. Ryan, thanks so much for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the kind words. If you would have told me that back at bodybuilding.com, it would have gave you a big raise. So.
Oh, is that what it took? Man, I wish I would have known. So there's something for all your employees now, I guess. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, great.
Yeah, now it's out in the open, right? The cat's out of the bag. So yeah, I mean, just as a side note, like I said, I mean, Ryan, you have a background, obviously, as an entrepreneur, business owner. You were the founder of bodybuilding.com, co-founder of bodybuilding.com, however you want to call it, with your brother. I mean, that company, for the time that you were in charge, I mean, it grew up, like it blew up, I should say, just grew big time from the time you guys started it in your garage. And that's why I say creativity. It's always kind of been in your DNA. You're creative, you're innovative, and you implement those things. You take action. Talk to us a little bit about your entrepreneurial spirit before we get into the Blackbox VR kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I started bodybuilding.com when I was basically just right out of high school, so I got super excited about the internet and this new technology. And I love the idea of being an entrepreneur, and I love the idea of creating businesses and hiring people and having customers and things like that. And so it really was from a young age that I really got into that whole idea. And for some reason, I just had this confidence that I could just go figure it out, even though I didn't know any other entrepreneurs or really have a lot of that type of mentorship in my life. But what's great is just being able to find such an amazing team here in Boise, Idaho. And, I get a lot of the credit, but we had so many amazing team members and so many creative people and hardworking people that were so passionate about helping people reach their fitness goals. And that, I think, would be one of the biggest things for me, was always that doing something that actually made a difference to people and that helped people, not just, I never started a business thinking, how do we just make money? How do I go out there and just make money somehow, get rich? It was all about how do we create a product or a service that's going to help people, and one that I wanted, because I was really into bodybuilding and fitness, even early years of high school, and I wish I had something like bodybuilding.com back then. So basically, creating something that I wanted for myself personally, creating an amazing team that was all passionate about the same thing, which was helping people reach their fitness goals.
That is super cool. Like it's unbelievable, because it's true. Like I love what you said there, just to pinpoint, like you didn't go into it for the money. Obviously the money will come. Like as I work with entrepreneurs on my day job, like all the time, like the money comes, that will happen. But if you start it with the right purpose, and that is serving others, then that's how you really build a foundation and get things rolling. And you did that. Bodybuilding.com obviously had its success during the time you were there, and it was amazing. Now, when you left bodybuilding.com, I always it sounds creepy, but I was always kind of like just keeping an eye on seeing what you were doing and stuff, just kind of keeping an eye on it, because I was super inspired by your work. And I heard about this Blackbox VR thing. You were posting about it little by little, but there wasn't a lot of details. And so I was like super intrigued, yet super confused. So talk to us about like how this even came about in your head, what Blackbox VR is, and how you even started thinking about, going into the fitness realm and virtual reality before VR really took off, for that matter.
Well, bodybuilding.com was definitely a technology company. When people would hear, the name bodybuilding.com, they thought it was just a bunch of, workout people sitting in a gym all day and something very basic. But we had hundreds of engineers, and we had really complicated software and backend systems and warehouse management systems. So I mean, we really were technology driven from the very beginning. And we were always looking at what's the newest thing. So at the beginning, of course, it's just, cyberspace and what can you do with that and e-commerce. And then, you could do videos and then web 2.0 type of stuff. People could post things like on forums and of course, mobile apps and trackers and games. So, I've always been focused on that. Like what's the next new technology and how can it be applied to help people reach their fitness goals? And when we left bodybuilding.com, it really came down to, first of all, I didn't want to be retired for very long. I tried, everyone dreams about getting to that point where, oh, hey, I'm young, I'm retired, I don't ever have to work again. And it sounds like a dream, right? But it really was a pretty miserable time in my life where I was aimless a little bit and didn't have that focus and drive. And so, it's like, I got to get back into this, got to get back into doing what I love. And so Preston and I said, let's go start some new thing. And virtual reality was something we'd been watching for a few years. And we saw that this was really going to be the next spatial, the next computing platform. Like this is going to take over the world in so many different ways with VR and augmented reality. So he said, I bet there's something there. So when you say that I was posting things and you weren't quite sure what it was all about, I wasn't sure either. you know, and that's one of those myths of entrepreneurship. People think that the entrepreneur just has this perfect idea and then it's just go make it. And that's simple, right? It's more, we had a basic idea like, hey, virtual reality has some new technology, things that it brings to the world that have never been seen before. Fully immerse yourself into this other world and embody a whole different character. How could you put that together with fitness? And that was really the only idea we had. It was like, we think there's something there, let's go investigate it. And then through that investigation, reading books, trying out things, creating little prototypes, we eventually over the years got to what you've seen today.
Oh my gosh, I think that's so cool. Like speaking of books, that is one thing that I always admired about you is you always read. You're always reading. Um, you're educating yourself. It's always staying up with new content and always just trying to stay educated. What's your favorite book in the last year that you've read?
Oh, in the last year, well, I put a couple of them right here. So like designing games, yeah, I keep them right here next to me, just for the ones that I really like. So I did focus a lot on game design type of stuff as well as like startup marketing. And so I try to read, this is like talking to humans. It's basically how to go and create actual like research with people and figure out what they actually want versus just what they're telling you or what you think that they might want. I'd say another one would be, other game design, but then I read the history of CrossFit. So what I always try to do is read things that are appropriate to what I'm doing right now, because they say adults learn by doing more than anything. Like if I read a whole book on gardening, but then didn't implement any of it, then I would forget every single thing. It'd be a waste of time. But when you read things that are applicable to your life today, you're more likely to be able to turn those into creative ideas and to implement them quickly and remember them. So this year for me, it was a lot of focus on how do you get a new innovation out there, right? It's an interesting problem actually because they call it like the 0 to 1, right? Like it's one thing if you're copying a playbook that somebody else already had. We're going to go create this thing that's just like this, but better in these little ways, and you can kind of figure that out. And the market's receptive to that a lot of times because they know what the product is, right? Like if you said this was, like what's a good example? Like grocery Uber, right? Oh, I kind of get the idea that they're gonna deliver it to me. I kind of understand what that's all about. When we tell people about virtual reality workouts, they have no idea how to even what bucket to put that in. So this year was a big focus on what they call diffusion of innovation. How do you get those innovations out there? And it's a difficult problem, but one that we're hoping to solve. And so looking at CrossFit, that's the other thing I try to do as much as I can is what are some examples? CrossFit happened to be in the fitness industry, but what are some other examples that were not in the fitness industry, but are similar type of idea that we have, and how can we copy that? Because we always say we're happy to plagiarize with pride. We don't have to invent every idea. We just have to go out there, find them, tweak them to fit our use case, and implement them, and hopefully that will work.
I dig it, man. Thank you for sharing that. That's super cool. Now listen, let's go into the Blackbox VR space here. People are hearing us talk about it. Now, those who have followed me probably have seen me post about my workouts. I have started working out almost 3 months ago. It'll be 3 months at the beginning of next month. So almost 3 months of workouts at Blackbox VR. And they're still confused. I try my best to kind of give them some insight of what's going on. People are still confused. And I will be honest, Ryan, I was super confused at what was going to happen. I've been, pardon me, I got a little cough. So I was, known for saying, like, I thought it might be, I didn't know how you could put like a workout into virtual reality. I didn't know if I was going to go into like a virtual gym. Am I going to sit there on a virtual bench? Am I going to sit there? Like, what am I doing? And what weights are we using and so forth? Until I went in there, then it started making sense, but it didn't even make sense until I did it like 4 or 5 times. Cause then I had to realize what was going on. So I don't want to spill the beans here though. I want you to be able to explain it to us, on what Blackbox VR is like. What's the experience like when somebody comes in to your gym? What's the differences, and like what are you doing when you go into Blackbox VR?
Sure. So I think I'll start by saying that, the key insight that we had when we started the company was not just, hey, let's use some new technology just because it's a new technology. And that's another mistake entrepreneurs sometimes make, is just there's some cool, sexy technology and they just want to use it without understanding really what the best use case is for it. What we really decided was, at bodybuilding.com, the number one thing we learned was that most people start a fitness program and don't stick with it. And the only secret to fitness success is sticking to it over the long term. Like, people are always trying to find out what's this perfect program, this perfect device, this meal plan, which one's going to be best for me, and they spend more time researching it than actually following it. Because that's the fun part. People don't actually follow it. New Year's is about to come up in a couple of days here, and the gyms are going to be packed, and everyone's going to have new gym memberships, new supplement plans, new diet plans, and studies show that within a couple of weeks, people have already quit. So it's very obvious that the fitness industry is failing most people. Obesity is at higher levels than it's ever been. Very few people do think in your own life that used to be out of shape and now are in like amazing shape and stayed that way. Like, it almost never happens. It's kind of shocking. So that insight made us realize that, what are we going to do to solve that? And video games are very addictive. It's like the opposite of fitness, right? Like, you wish that you'd go to the gym more often, but you're playing video games instead because it's way more fun. Just the way that they hook you into these experiences, that give you that itch to come back, and the achievement and the autonomy, and the, it's very clear goals and clear paths. It makes it so it's a very fun thing to do, to the point where we've all done that. I'm going to play for 30 minutes tonight, and I accidentally played for 4 hours, and now I'm going to be tired in the morning. So we basically just said, like, how do we put together that powerful, addictive quality of esports and video games together with the benefits of fitness? And that's really what it came down to. And so, to explain the Blackbox VR experience, it's actually relatively simple. People, the technology, I think, and the gaming part of it kind of confuses people a little bit, but it's an esports style video game. So esport really is just a video game that's more like a sport versus like a role playing game or a arcade game where you just beat a bunch of levels or you beat the boss. In esports, kind of like Rocket League or League of Legends or Clash Royale on your phone, or even just like obviously Madden and sports games like that, you're playing a sport that's repeatable over and over. So like basketball, you could play basketball over and over every single day for the rest of your life and never be the same game twice. So an esport's kind of like that. Our esport is basically the idea that you go into this arena, with a big crowd in there, and you are going to try to destroy the crystal of your competitor before they destroy yours. So you have a crystal in front of you, they have one in front of them, like across a soccer field size stadium. And you have 2 ways to try to attack and defend. And the first most important way is just doing exercise attacks. So obviously the most important thing we want is to make sure you get the right amount of exercise based on exercise science that'll give you results. So when we say, hey, you got to do this certain attack, like a meteor shower, right? Does this area attack and then destroys all these guys. So you're just like shooting bombs at people, but to shoot them, instead of pressing a button, you're actually pushing up and doing overhead press. And every time you do an overhead press, it shoots. And the more you do, obviously, the better that is. And then if you do enough reps, our AI will automatically increase the resistance for you on your next workout. So that's a critical part of working out, as everyone knows, right? The idea of progressive overload. If you just use 20-pound dumbbells every single day at the gym, you're never going to change. You need to go to 25 and then 30. So we automatically detect that. So eventually, and hopefully you're seeing that right now, you're really having to push to get that 12 to 15 reps. So there's 6 different exercises, works your full body, as well as 2 burner exercises. So that's the main way, right? So I'm competing using that, and you have to choose the exercise based on what's going on out there, like which element. And it's pretty simple. It's like a rock, paper, scissors type of thing. If they do this, you do this, and there's different type of attacks. But it's basically that. More effort you put, the stronger you are. Actually, the stronger you get. If your bench press goes up in the gym, you can lift more weight. If your bench press goes up in Blackbox VR, every rep you do does more damage on the field, and you're going to win more games and move up the arena levels and earn those trophies. And then the second way is to deploy champions. We want to make sure there's still a strategy. If you're just thinking about lifting and counting reps, it's not fun. So you have these champions, they're basically just these little characters. You can put them out there by doing a little punch pattern, kind of cardio burst type of experience. Put them out there on the field, and they all have a bunch of different abilities, like they can fly, or they can punch, or they have swords, or they have archery. So so it's kind of fun. And so the strategy comes down to, in between sets, I'm going to get those guys out there and figure out where to place them, and make sure that they are strong against what the competitor is doing. So that's basically it. 30 minutes. However many crystals I destroy, I get points for. However many crystals of mine they destroy, they get points for. Whoever has the most points at the end of that 30 minutes, which will feel like 10 minutes, because it goes by so fast, because you're in that flow state, just like video games. And then you will come out of it, and it is a hard workout. As you've seen, people think, oh, video games like We Fit, but it will kill you in a good way.
Oh, that it's absolutely insane, how taxing it is on the body, but in a 30-minute window. People don't realize, like, and the cool thing I like about it, Ryan, is how, like you said, it's addictive in a good way. Because, like, for example, this morning, I mean, I was running on fumes before I went and worked out at 6:15. And so I was tired, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but I have a day, I have to get my workouts in before 9 o'clock in the morning so that I can get started with my day. And so I have to get there early. I was tired, but you got 30 minutes. And the days that you think, like, sometimes you go to the gym, right? A normal gym. And I've been around sports my whole life, athletics. I've been in the gym my entire life, right? On and off with, like, keeping up with my fitness levels, but I've been in the gym every type of workout I've tried. Okay. You go to the gym, you pull out your phone, you go in there, you're like, okay, well, I'm not feeling very good today. I'll still do my sets, but I'm going to take a minute and a half here, 5 minutes here. You don't get that opportunity. The game is going on. You're in the battle arena and you're going. Like, you don't get a chance. They don't stop. Like, they're not going to stop. So while you're in there for that 30 minutes, you're going for that 30 minutes. And that's what I actually really respect about it. I love it. You're going in there, regardless of how tired you are or not. You got to play or you're going to lose, period. And I really like that. And what people don't understand is, like, it is a full body workout. Like Ryan just said here, you got 6 workouts and some burners, which are like biceps and triceps currently. And it's a full body. You got chest, shoulders, you got your legs, you got squats, deadlifts, and then rows and lat pulls. And I kid you not, like, as you start to get stronger, you're no longer able to do, 20 to 25 reps sometimes, even when you're on the light mode. Like, you can change resistances. You're getting like 12 to 15 and you're still frying out. Like, you're burnt. So, I mean, for me, I'm getting anywhere between 400 and 500 reps per workout in a 30-minute window. Some people get, 300 to 400. It just really depends on their fitness level. It's unbelievable to me. And what I like about it, Ryan, is the gamification. I'm not a gamer. And that's the cool thing. You're talking about the games and how addictive they are. I'm not a gamer. I'm the furthest thing from a gamer that you'll ever see. Like, I play Madden and FIFA, and that's it. But even with those, it's selective. I just have never been a good video game. Like, I'm not a good gamer, but I respect them. I go into this totally addicted to this. I love these workouts better than anything I've ever done. And all I need is 3 days a week because they're full body workouts. What I also like is the app. Can you talk to us about the app? The app is what actually caught my attention the first time. Like, when I first started there, I was like, whoa, what in the world is this? So talk to us about what the app is and how that goes around your guys' workout programs.
Sure. So the companion app is basically where you'll do all the other stuff outside of the actual battle. So obviously, when you're in VR, we want you to be focused on the battle, not think about anything else. So in the app, you can go in there and schedule your workout. So it's pretty simply to say, I want to work out at this time. You just show up. You don't even really have to talk to anybody. If you don't want to, just walk into booth 3, like your app just told you, put the headset on, and it'll say your name on there, and then you get started. It'll also allow you to track all your stats. So what's cool about Blackbox is, because it's in a video game and because we can track you fully in 3D movement and every little thing you're doing, we track over 50,000 data points per workout. And then that is allowing us to make changes to the game, allowing us to use the AI to progress you and make sure you have the right resistance levels and other parts of it. But it also allows us to show you these really fun graphs that just show you, here's what your 1 rep max is, here's what it's been over time, here's how much volume you did, here's how many reps and sets, and it just tracks the entire battle of calories and all that stuff that you burned. What's great about that is, we all know you should track your workouts, but it's so mind-numbingly boring. It's easy to track heart rate these days with these monitors and things like that. But even if you're tracking in an app, you have to put in every set, every rep. And if you forget any, then you're kind of missing some data and it's not really going to be helpful. So ours automatically tracks it completely for you. The other part is there's a social community. So you can see what your friends are doing. You can see, compare yourself to what other people are doing and how you're doing going up the leaderboards, which is really fun. And then you can manage your game. So you can go in there and, upgrade these cards, right? So you have these champions I was talking about, like your archer. At a level 10 archer, I want to get it to a level 11, so it'll be more powerful and I can win more games. I go in there and I can earn those through these chests and through using coins and things like that. So a lot of the fun things that mobile games bring to the table, we bring that into our experience to just give you more of that itch to come back all the time.
I'll tell you, I was talking to another gym member about this. He plays basketball with me on the weekends, and we discuss our workouts there. We're the only 2 that have done them so far over this. So we sound like a bunch of gamers over there, just like talking strategy and stuff, but it's awesome. Like when you have the app, if for anybody who happens to be watching this, the app is kind of right here. I got to pull up on my phone. You got your little avatar. Like Ryan said, you can go. I mean, there's so much to it. And I love the community aspect of it as well, but it does track all your workouts. So we spend him and I were talking. I'll get done with my workout. It takes me like 15 minutes to catch my breath. So I'm out in the car before I even leave the garage. And I'm like, okay, well, while I'm catching my breath, let me just check my stats. And I'm like looking at my volume. It tells you how much volume you push, how many reps you did, how many sets you did, how many champions you deployed. And like Ryan said, you can go in there and you can, upgrade you can set your team to go to battle with you. And you almost are like, it's virtual reality. You're living in another world. So for that 30-minute window, you get to disconnect from real life. You get to go into this battle arena, get a workout in, and you get to kind of like have your own little battlefield and battle crew with you. It's actually really cool. It sounds really nerdy, but it's not. I can guarantee you, like you're getting yourself. Well, I guess it is kind of nerdy, but it's awesome at the same time because you're getting yourself in great shape. Now you guys are taking it to another level. I see you guys have a Twitch channel. And what people don't understand too, I've been trying to talk to them. This is why I wanted to bring you on, is how this is like a sport. It's not just a game. You're literally in there like battling, and you got points and you got leaderboards, like you said in the app. And now you're teaming up with Boise State eSports. I want to shout out Chris Haskell. He was on my show a year ago talking about the Boise State eSports program. And I saw you guys were kind of utilizing their facility and kind of taking the broadcasting to the next level with this tournament that you guys are doing. So talk to us about this and how you guys have been teaming up with the Boise State eSports crew and the Twitch stuff and where we see this going in the future.
Sure. I think, like you said, when you think gaming, sometimes you do think it's like this nerdy thing and that it's not for you. And there are a lot of people like that. Obviously, most people are gamers. Like they say 2 out of 3 people in the US now are gamers. Average age is like 30 something. Pretty evenly split male and female. There's a lot of mobile gamers, obviously. But I would look at it the same way you just said, as a sport. It's basically a sport that you just happen to do inside of a video game, where you are inside the video game versus using a controller or keyboard, obviously. So if you like sports, then you're going to love this. And we get that from a lot of people. Like, I'm a competitive athlete, but I haven't been able to compete, since high school or college, and there's not that many opportunities. I want to work out, and I wish I could make my workout more like that, right? And that's what Blackbox definitely brings to you, is the ability to have that competitive sport feeling while you're getting your workout. So yes, we've started doing tournaments. We did our first one with Boise State just over the last few weeks, which you can see out on their Twitch channel and their Twitter. But the fun idea about it is, now that we have this brand new sport that we've created, all the fun parts of sports, whether it's creating teams, whether it's trying to accomplish certain goals all together, or compete against other teams, or compete individually in your bracket to see how well you can do, it makes it so much more fun, because you're really thinking about, all right, I need to improve my strategy. I need to be in the best shape I possibly can, just like you're getting ready for a football game or a CrossFit competition. And it adds a whole another layer of motivation, which the typical gym just doesn't have that. And you go in there and you're competing against yourself. Sometimes you might compete against other people, but it's not that exciting. Blackbox streamed out to Twitch, streamed out to YouTube, and over Boise State tournaments, you can get that feeling.
100%. I love it. I love to see just in the short time that I've been kind of covering it a little bit more, just the growth already. Like you're starting to get more and more media exposure, and people are starting to see it now. Talk to us about the locations of your gym, because some people are like, okay, well, where is this? And I'm like, oh, well, in Boise, it's downtown 8th and Main, and I'm trying to tell them where it's at. Okay, well, isn't that the other gym? And I'm telling them where it's at. But so yeah, it's new. So people just need to know, where are your gym locations and how can people get access to those locations?
So yeah, I mean, that's one of the negative things, is that it is location based, because you have to get access to the booth and the machine and the hardware. So we only have a few places open, but yeah, we have one in Boise downtown. There's free parking in the Zions Bank building, up to an hour there. So that's not a big deal. It's simple to get to, but it's just right there inside the gym at 8th and Main. So pretty easy to get there. We also have one in San Francisco, right across from Twitter headquarters. And we've recently started a partnership with EOS Fitness. EOS Fitness is a really big gym chain down in California, Arizona, Florida, Utah. And they're got like 50 different gyms, really big gyms. And we're now putting our gyms inside of their gym. So it's an add-on for their members. So we're right now in the Phoenix area in 3 locations, and in 1 location in Oceanside, California, with the hope that over 2021 to expand into dozens more locations. So pretty soon it'll be coming to you.
Heck yeah, let's go. So talk to us about the experience. I'm a brand new guy coming into a guy or girls. Sorry. I'm a brand new individual coming into the gym. What's it like? Some people are scared. They don't want to go to the gym because there's a lot of people there. So tell us what the experience is when you walk into the gym, you're going in for your workout. What's the atmosphere like? Are you by yourself? Are you around people? Can you explain that to the listeners here?
Sure. So it's really easy to sign up. We have a free trial, 14 days free. So if you want to come try it out, there's no risk. Just go to blackbox-vr.com or download the Blackbox VR app in any of the app stores. Basically, sign up in there, create your little account, put in some of your data, and then you will schedule your workout. Show up at your scheduled time and your workout clothes, and we have a hero trainer there that will help you to get into the experience for your first experience. So obviously, teaching how to use the virtual reality equipment and answer any questions you have. But it's a very supportive, fun environment. Everybody, like you said, everyone comes out of their workouts and wants to talk about it. Like, oh, this is what happened to me, and hey, how do you deal with this? And what are your stats and things like that. So it's a really cool group of people, very open. When you're doing the workout, you're inside your own private booth. So you don't have to worry that, like, hey, I put this headset on and people are going to watch me. What if I look stupid? What if I'm out of shape? What if I'm doing the form wrong? You're in a completely private 10-foot by 10-foot booth. And so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And if you have any questions, anything, you can come out and ask one of the hero trainers and they're happy to help.
Yeah, so one of the things, like Ryan was saying, like, don't be intimidated because you do have the assistants there. I remember there was one day,
Mhm.
for example, I didn't realize the building was closed at 6:15 in the morning, and I didn't have my card to get in, and I had to
Mhm.
call the hero trainer. He came and opened it for me and helped me out.
Mhm.
And then when I couldn't figure out my wristbands, and sometimes people get intimidated, and I'm
Mhm.
trying to put the wristbands on and they have these little pucks that you put on with your headset, and I couldn't figure it out. I went out and just opened the little thing. I said, "Hey, can you come help me?" He was super, super helpful. Came and got it set up for me. No judgment. Like, that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, if there's no judgment there, you're in your own little private booth, but everyone has a good time. There's people from all different fitness levels that are going in there, and they have a blast. It's actually really, really cool. And the thing is, you don't have to. You don't have to, like, what I think is, some people, like athletes or former athletes, they might come in there thinking that they're not going to get a workout. Like, trust me, you're going to get winded. And
Mhm.
that's the fun part about it. Like, you might think you're tough enough to not get winded now. Like, do the third, fourth workout. Once you get past 3 or 4 on your onboarding sessions, then you start to realize, like, oh yeah, you're not going to get through this without straining your body. It's going to be pretty tough. It's a phenomenal experience. Now, I do have a question for you in regards to esports in general. Now, on my show, Ryan, I've talked about this a couple of times. I've even had a mini series. Like I said, I brought on Chris Haskell last year. I love the whole aspect of esports, even though I'm not a gamer, because I do think there is a lot of potential for growth. There has been, even since I first talked about it 4 years ago. Talk to me about, from your entrepreneurial side, the studies that you've done. Obviously, you're in this industry now, you're trying to tap into both worlds with fitness and esports. Where do you see esports going in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, there's no doubt esports are growing dramatically fast, and they're almost bigger than any other sport out there nowadays when it comes to number of people that are watching it. They say millennials watch on average 2 to 3 hours of esports a day, and this is just watching, not playing, which is kind of crazy. But they're not growing up playing. They didn't grow up playing as many sports. Gen Z is really not playing a lot of youth sports. They're focused on video games, and so they all want to go into becoming streamers. You hear about people like Ninja and these Fortnite streamers that are making tens of millions of dollars just streaming out there. There's tens of millions of dollars on the line in some of these huge tournaments. These tournaments are packing stadiums of people, and in the middle are people playing video games, and you can see them on the big screen in the stadiums. Key Arena in Seattle, for example, completely packed with people. So I mean, it's growing dramatically. It's also becoming such a big thing for any kind of league that people want to create out there. So people are creating full leagues, like just to become part of some of these leagues, which some of these NBA basketball players have been joining. They're creating their own league or own teams within these leagues, and it costs them, 10, $20 million just to sign up to become a franchise in these leagues. So the future of sports is definitely esports. We hope that there's a physical aspect to it because obviously esports are not great for your health. You're not obviously getting a workout, if anything, the opposite. So we see huge growth in physical sports, virtual reality sports, but it's not going to go back. People, once you've played Rocket League, with these little cars and explosions and flying all over the place, it's hard to watch regular soccer on TV because you can't keep up with the excitement of video games.
It's actually really funny and super true, actually, in a concerning way sometimes. But the, the whole thing as you're talking there, I'm actually like envisioning in my mind, 5 years down the road, Blackbox VR athletes at Key Arena, like a big arena, like doing a tournament that type of way. I could see, like, the way that you guys continue to improve things at the gym, just the growth from the concept, like when you guys founded it, what, 2016 till now, and then just can't even imagine another 4 or 5 years with the continuous improvements. There's a big potential there. And I think, it's interesting. We talked about this on my show once too. I had an esports trainer because he was talking about, like, how unhealthy these gamers actually are. I mean, they're talking Red Bulls, they're shotgunning Red Bulls, 4 of them within an hour, trying to stay awake, and then a lot of them are on Adderall and a lot of different addictive substances that, like, to keep them to have a competitive advantage. And now that it's in college sports and it's a varsity sport in a lot of the colleges, now they have to regulate a lot of those substances and so forth. There's a lot of things that go on while at the same time. So their heart rate's going at a fast pace, yet they're just sitting there. A lot of them don't hydrate. A lot of them. So the fact that you guys are bringing in the physical health aspect of all of this is a huge thing to me. That's why I'm so intrigued by it. And I can't wait to see the future of it, because I think it has a massive potential. Like, I can see it being an Olympic sport, for crying out loud. Now, the other thing. So what I like about your guys' gym is you guys have some merchandise, and you have like a cool little hat, and you get these little pins. When you talk to us about the champions, like the boss battles, so to speak. So at the end of, like, there's these arenas that you're placed in, these leagues that you're placed in, and then you beat a certain amount of levels and you get to a boss battle, and then these little pins. Can you tell us a little bit more about the structure of why we have the boss battles and how you get there?
Sure. When you first start, you'll go through an onboarding experience where there's 6 onboarding challenges. So that's where you're learning everything about the game. You're learning the exercises, learning how to use virtual reality. It's a fun little story that goes together with it, and you get your first little practice battles. Those first 6 workouts are also calibrating the system to you. So your first workout's going to be pretty easy because we're going to start at a low weight, calibrate it a little bit based on you, and then as we see your performance, we're going to increase it. But it's kind of like going to the gym the very first time with a trainer. They're going to say, hey, let's use these little 20-pound dumbbells, teach you the movements, teach you about the gym. After the next few workouts, you're going to continue to move up. After your 6 workouts, based on your performance, you'll be placed into a league. So there's 5 different leagues from bronze up to diamond. You're placed into one of those leagues based on your performance. And that way the matchmaking is fair, right? You're going against, and right now it's computer players, but also future, you'll be going against other people that are at your similar level. If you win those battles, once you're in the league, then you start in Arena 1, you earn trophies. So if you win a battle, you get 100 trophies. If you lose a battle, you lose 100 trophies. So your trophy level basically determines how far up the arena levels you move. So if you get enough trophies in Arena 1, you move up to Arena 2. And to move to Arena 2, you first have to beat the Arena 1 boss. And so it's kind of a fun little thing where you've been doing a bunch of workouts, now you're going against a boss. If you can beat that boss, which is still the same basic workout, it's just going to be a little bit more intense. If you can prove that you are worthy and you beat that boss, then you'll move up to Arena 2, which then unlocks new characters and new exercises and new game modes and all sorts of fun stuff, as well as put you in this brand new arena that continues to move up. What's fun is you get these little pins, like you were saying, like every time you win, you get this little pin with the name of the boss on it. And so people have started collecting all the bosses that they've beat, and it's something to, it's good bragging rights.
Yeah, it's actually super cool. My son, who's 4 years old currently, is addicted to the little pins. So yesterday, I bought one of your guys' hats last week, and then we put the pins on the actual hat because he wanted to put them up there like a trophy, almost like a varsity, like Letterman's jacket type of thing. So he was having a good time with it. It's kind of cool. And like, you know, what I wanted to bounce off of right there with what Ryan said is I like that you do have the new arenas after a couple of battles. You beat the boss, you go to a new. It's just, it keeps things new. It keeps things new, and you keep, you know, things keep changing. You keep getting, you either get stronger, your resistance goes up, things get harder. It's never the same. And that is one of the coolest things that I like about it. The workouts, while you're like, oh, well, it's a full body workout every single time. Some people might say that, but it's like, no, the resistance changes. The gameplay is going to change. You're going to fight different enemies. Like things change. So the workouts are actually never the same. You have to kind of think too, because you have a strategy. It's not just like go in there and do all your workouts. You have a strategy. It's crazy. Yeah. It's insane. How you have to just continue. Like you're in there, it's always changing. And I respect that. Now, last question for you, Ryan. People want to ask this, especially those who might know you from before as well, like from your days at bodybuilding.com and whatnot. Do you use Blackbox VR for your workouts? Because people are like, oh, he created it. Does he even use them?
Yeah. For the last 2 to 3 years now, that's the only thing I've used for workouts. And I refuse to go to any other regular gym. I just can't do it anymore. What's crazy is that when I talk to, you know, fitness models and bodybuilders over the years, like they all are tired of their workout programs. You know, they all talk on Instagram and everywhere about, oh, I just love working out every single day and I love eating right. But they go through their ups and downs and they lose motivation because it's just hard to do the same thing over and over, week after week. Monday you're doing, you know, chest and tris and not a lot of change, eating the same things over every single time. That's what's so exciting about Blackbox is that it's always something different. When I've worked out at like a hotel gym a couple of times, so I was out of town, and doing chest press and no fire beam comes out, that sucks. So I'll usually last there for like 15 minutes, be like, all right, I gotta go. But there's no way once you go into Blackbox and once you see the physical results you can get, I'm in better shape now than I think I've ever been, and stronger and full body endurance and everything. Like I feel better. Everything's better than I've ever been. And I was obviously the CEO of bodybuilding.com for 17 years, and doing workouts with hardcore bodybuilders in these dungeons in the UK, or the Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff. And these are the hardest workouts, the most fun workouts, and there's no way I could ever go back. I feel so much better than I ever have.
There's the words from the man himself. I mean, I don't even have to bounce off that. I will say ditto. Like I agree 100% with what you said, but I won't even tackle it. There you guys have it. Ryan uses it himself. It's amazing. So there you go. Sun's out, guns out.
That's right. So, I got my posing suit on too if we're ready for that. Next time.
I dig it, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is the co-founder, CEO of Blackbox VR, former CEO of bodybuilding.com, the co-founder of bodybuilding.com. So, I mean, the man himself, he's been around the fitness industry. He's got big things coming, super innovative. And Ryan, once again, I just want to say thank you for joining the Game Time Guru podcast and sharing your knowledge with us and letting us hear more about what you got coming. So thank you so much, man.
Sure. Thanks. I just wanted to shout out to you for being so consistent with your workouts and just so positive and such great motivation for our team, all the videos that you posted out there. And it's fun to battle against you in the arenas, and really appreciate all the work from the team at Blackbox VR. Like I get a lot of credit all the time as CEO, and Preston and I as co-founders, but the team working nonstop day and night, caring so much about this product, that's the reason that we've got to where we are. So super excited about the future.
Heck yeah. Shout out to the team. You guys are doing a great job. For all the listeners out there, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to hit the subscribe button on whichever platform you're on. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave me a review. It helps the show's growth. As we go into the fifth year, we finally finished up 4 years of the show, going into 2021 with a bang. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you next week. Guys, thanks so much for listening to another episode of my show. Now, if you could go and do me a favor, head over to iTunes, give me 5 stars, and leave me a review. It would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your support.